Welcome to the Hair Notes Podcast. I am your host, Maxine Green, owner and master stylist at Curly Dimension Salon. This podcast was created to educate and motivate you on how to properly care for your natural curly hair. Every week, a new episode will drop. So grab a notepad and pen, pull up a chair, and let's have a chat. Let's get into today's episode. All right, you guys. All right, so on today's episode, I want to talk to you about identity and hair, right? So many of us attach our identity to our hair, or we attach our hair to our identity. So let me tell you a story. So I had a potential new client who came in for a consultation, and she wanted to change the way she looked. She wanted to get a new look. And we talked about what her vision is and where she saw herself going with in terms of her hair. We also talked about her story. So, and how did she get to this place of uncertainty? The one thing that stood out in the story for me was the fact that she attributed the way her hair or she wore her hair to her friendship group, to her social group. And this is a story that I heard so often. So many curly girls, so many women often would attribute their identity or the way they wear their hair to who they associate with, who their friendships are, or who their friends are, and or a particular celebrity, a particular someone that they like. They saw the photo in a magazine or on social media, and so they automatically assume, hey, if it looks good on her, we have somewhat of the same features, our textures or our hair looks somewhat similar, why not? So here's the thing, you guys, that is fine. There's nothing wrong with identifying yourself in someone, or kind of looking at someone else's hair or someone else's style and identifying that with you. There's nothing wrong with that. Here's the issue that I have. If you are identifying your particular look or your desired look or the way you feel or the way ultimately want you to look, ultimately want your hair to look with your social group, that for me is like, okay, do you really know who you are, or are you really aware of yourself? Do you have your own identity? The reason why I wanted to talk about this topic, because after that initial conversation with that potential new client, I thought to myself, wow, it's so interesting, right? So many of us, and I'm sure you guys can identify with this, and I'm sure this will resonate with so many of you because it resonates with me, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. We define who we are by the way our hair is. And as I mentioned, while it's okay, I still want us to have some sense of individuality, right? Some sense of, I wear my hair this way because this is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is what I believe in. And this is ultimately it could be a color, it could be anything, right? This is ultimately how I feel comfortable within myself, right? So after that, while I was talking to the client, I was thinking to myself, God, this is so many women. This is so many women, everyday women who don't know why their hair or why they wear, whether it's your weaves or whether it's a natural style or whether you're braiding frequently. So many women don't know why they're doing it. They just simply know, one, it's easier. Two, their social group, that's what everyone in their social groups is doing. That's what everyone on social media or the news or whatever have you is doing. And so for them, it's okay. Or for them, they feel like, since everyone is doing, let me go ahead and jump on the bandwagon. You guys, the thing is, when you decide to wear your hair in its natural state. Let's say you're transitioning, or let's say you big chop, because we talked about big chopping, right? Now, let's say you've big chopped and you decide to go curly. That is a decision that I want you to completely own. It's a decision that you kind of stand in your own truth, right? I decided to big chop, so I'm gonna cut off all my hair, and or I'm gonna transition. Either which way, you're fine. But whatever decision you decide, kind of own it, right? Don't get or don't wear a particular hairstyle or a particular style when it comes, especially when it comes to the curly girls, right? Don't wear your hair this way because everyone around you is doing it. When you know and you understand who you are, then the hair is just an addition. The hair should be just another level to, or another layer to identifying who you are, right? Being self aware of who you are. I know it's easier said than done, but so often I see so many curly girls. They're essentially, I don't want to use the word confused, but they're just like, I don't know. I can't even remember why my hair is this way or why I decided to wear my hair this way. And that for me is like, wow. I thought it was so interesting to hear another female say, or another woman say, I don't know why. I just decided to wear my hair that way because that's what everyone around me was doing. And I thought it was the normal thing to do. And hear me out when I say this, you guys. It's okay if you do that. But what I want you to really take away from today's episode is, if you're going to wear your hair curly, straight, in a weave, or in a braids, I want you to be able to know that, okay, I'm wearing my hair this way, but I'm actually taking care of my hair. However I choose to wear it, I'm taking care of my hair. Because here's the thing, you guys. The first thing the human eye gravitate to is our hair, right? It's the first thing we see. Let's say, for instance, you have not seen a long lost friend in years, and you've seen her, you ran into her, and you guys are like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. How are you doing? You look amazing. Oh my God, your hair looks amazing, right? It's the first thing the human eye gravitate to. When you see someone on social media or in the magazines, the first thing you notice is their hair. Like, your hair is, I mean, her hair looks amazing, because when the hair is flawless, everything else falls into place. So with that being said, if you identify as a curly girl, a natural curly girl, right? And that's fine. I identify as a natural curly girl. That's who I am. That's who I wear. That's how I wear my hair 98% of the time, right? The other 1 or 2%, I have braids, as you can see, or I have it silked out, which doesn't happen very often. 90% of the time, I wear my hair in its natural curly state. That's who I identify myself as. That's who I am. I'm a natural curly girl. That doesn't mean that I can't wear anything else. But what I want you to do is make sure that you are taking care of your hair. It's okay to identify as a curly girl, or identify as, I wear my hair in braids because this is what I'm comfortable with. I wear my hair wearing weaves because that's what I feel most confident in. That's what I feel most comfortable in. And ultimately, that's what makes me feel pretty. However you decide to wear your hair, right? Whichever direction you decide to go, just own, just own it. Just walk in your truth. You decide, you know what? I'm boss, and I feel confident and I feel beautiful in however I decide to wear my hair. But what I don't want you to do is simply wear your hair just because someone else has it, or someone else says, you should do this, or someone else is making that decision for you, right? That decision should come naturally to you. That's a decision for you to make. That's a decision for you to own, right? It's interesting when I think about curly girls, and or when I think about hair and our identity, because it's so wrapped up in who we are and it defines so much of our everyday lives. What strikes me as, most curly girl won't say, or they're afraid to go curly, or they're afraid to transition because they have no idea how it will look on the other side of the spectrum. Or, you know what? I don't know if this is going to look pretty on me. Am I going to look weird? Is it going to be like a teeny weeny afro? Is it going to be dry looking? I can't make up my mind. Like, don't, I don't know if this would work for me. Here's the thing. The decision that you're going to make, whether to go naturally curly or whether to go curly or whether to relax or whether to wear a weave, that's totally on you, right? But when you make the decision, as I mentioned, just own it, right? So many of us get caught up in the way we feel or someone else's opinion, of us, or and we make that our thing, right? Someone else's opinion or someone else's well, you should wear your hair like this because I think it's pretty. That's If that's not you, then why would you, right? I want to talk to the curly girls who are role models because we're all role models, right? Let's say you have a daughter or you have a niece or someone in the neighborhood or around you that's looking up to you. Let's speak to, let's say you're an educator and so many young girls are looking at you or they're admiring your hair. What image are you telling them? What image are you saying? What image are you showing them? Right? Are you telling them that it's okay to embrace who they are by wearing their hair however they feel, however it feels good for them? What image are you saying? What image are you not so much saying, but what image are you portraying? Right? I think it's important for us to really own where we are. It's really important, and it's important for me, right? It's important to really understand that our image and our identity, everyone else is watching. They're watching and they're looking, in particular, our young girls. And that is a big part of why I wanted to do this, because I believe that our young girls need a positive image to see. It doesn't matter if you're a curly girl. It doesn't matter if you're wearing your hair in a weave. It doesn't matter if you're wearing your hair if you have locks. It does not matter. However you choose to wear your hair, the confidence that you are wearing your hair with is what defines you and what makes you you and what makes you unique, right? Getting caught up into or wearing your hair simply because you want to fit in to a particular social group. I can't really speak to the psychology of that because I'm not a psychologist, right? I don't want to speak to the psychology of that. However, I do want to speak to the part where you're not aware or you don't know. And then years later, you decide that I think it's time for me to shift gears. I really want to shift into doing something different. I want a new me. I want to start over. I want a new look. What does that look like for you? Right? How many of you can relate to that? How many of us can relate to, my God, I don't even know what my hair would look like if I didn't wear it this way? How many of us can say, my God, I don't even think I can look this way because I'm so used to wearing my hair in this particular style? I get it. I really do get it. It's such a struggle for so many of us to understand because hair is such a big part of who we are, right? It's such a struggle for us to understand. I can't see myself any other way other than what I've been used to or what I'm normally been doing or what everyone else is used to seeing or how everyone else is used to seeing me, right? I think is so that part for me was the nail biting part, right? It was the part that I just had to sit with the conversation that I was having with this particular client or potential client when she said to me, I don't even know when I lost myself. I don't even remember losing myself in this identity that I have created as a result of me being in this social group, right? She doesn't remember who she was outside of it. So now she's trying to shift into someone else, someone new. She's trying to shift into her own identity. She have no idea what that looks like, right? So it goes back to awareness. In awareness you want to really understand, listen, this is who I am as an individual. This is how I choose to wear my hair. It doesn't matter who likes it, and it doesn't matter who loves it, right? Or who doesn't like it, or who doesn't love it. Because at the end of the day, sis, you're not wearing your hair for someone else to like. You're wearing your hair for you. Because let me tell you, no one else can give you the confidence except you. No one else can own that confidence except you. Right? So let me be the first to tell you, just in case no one told you, be brave and be bold. However you decide to wear your hair, however you decide to go about it, be you. Who's going to say what? Listen, I love the saying let me just say this. I love when I see a woman who is confident, who she walks in her own truth. She walks in her identity, right? She walks in who she is. She's bold, right? Now I get it. It's going to take some work. I get it. I totally understand. It's going to take a lot of work. But the thing is, as long as you know that there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and as long as you know that you don't have to stay where you started, and as long as you know that you don't have to go on this journey alone, as long as you know that, then I think that going the journey is half the battle. Taking the next step is certainly just owning who you are, being true to yourself, being aware of who you are, and really embracing that is really the thing, right? It's really that push or that piece that will give you the confidence. I think that women, because our hair is such a big part of who we are, I think oftentimes we get caught up, or we get so engrossed in the way society, the way everyone say we should wear our hair, or we should do this, or the way everyone else around us look, right? We get caught up into what is considered the norm, or we get caught up in just, well, maybe I should try it. What do you think? Or maybe maybe my hair would look this way. Or let's say one friend or another friend say, you should wear your hair like this. I think you should totally wear your hair like this. Okay, why? Is that your opinion? Or are you saying, and listen, don't get me wrong. I don't mind someone else's opinion saying, I think this would look amazing on you. This would look pretty on you. That is fine. But don't wear it or don't do it simply because someone suggested it. But you're not confident in knowing how it would look on you, right? Or you're not confident in owning it. Or you're not confident in saying, you know what? You're absolutely right. That will look amazing on me. I want to try it. And then you try it, and then you get to this place of, what was I thinking? the young lady that came in and we were talking about her hair, and she was having a bit of a struggle, right? Her hair went from flourishing to what happened. And somewhere along the line, she couldn't remember what happened. She couldn't she couldn't really articulate. I don't even know where to start or where to begin or what happened. I really don't know. She just remembered that she was always the girl with beautiful curly hair. She remembered that she was always the girl that everyone talked about. She was always the girl that everyone used as a reference to say, do your hair like this, or your hair should look like that, or why doesn't your hair look like that? Or she was the standard, right? She became the standard in her friendship group. And so, because she became the standard, she got lost in being the standard, and she got lost in really owning who she is, but instead trying to keep up, right? When you become the standard, you lost a sense of, I don't know, how should I say this? You start to think, gosh, this is a lot. I got to keep up with this. I have to, how can I outdo the last time? How can I keep going, right? Because so much pressure is now placed on you, right? To kind of keep this image, keep this look that you had going within your friendship groups. So much now is riding on what happened to your hair. Your hair looks, you still look amazing, right? Or we'll get, gosh, you fell off. What happened? Right? So I know that that is a major part for us. I know that our hair plays such an important role in who we are, in how we present ourselves to the world. It does play a major role. So I know that hair and identity is is a big thing for us. While I'm not saying don't get caught up in the identity piece, what I am saying is when you are caught up in the identity piece, or while you're caught up in the identity piece, just know that, is this you, your identity, or is it someone else's? Because that means you will be aware, right? If you're aware, then you know that this is who I am. And I confidently can say, this is really me, right? This is not someone else's projecting their image or their identity onto me. And I then take it on like a cloak. No, this is really me. This is like you you get what you see, That kind of a thing. So essentially what I'm saying is own who you are. Own how you look. And whether that is curly, that is straight, my straight hair girls out there, whether that's curly, that's straight, that's you wearing a weave, or that's you wearing braids. Whatever that is, you stay true to who you are. Embrace that. Because so many of our young people are looking, and they're looking to the older ones for guidance. And if we are aware of who we are, and we identify and we stand firm in our truth, and we are bold enough to say, this is who I am, and I will not waver, and I am not wearing my hair simply because someone else suggested, or simply because to fit in, simply to fit into a group. What we're essentially telling our young people is that be your own individual. Be yourself. You can stand out amongst your friends. You can stand out amongst your groups. And you don't have to apologize for it. You don't have to say, oh, I'm sorry. Did I offend you? That's not an offense. because you're being bold and you're owning it. And I'm here for all of it, right? So I hope this resonate with you. I wanted to really talk about this because this was so important to me, right? I remember being a young girl, and I remember being in a group of friends. I remember having a group of friends, and I remember all of us, we had the salt and pepper look. We all had that, the short side and long, and the asymmetrical haircut. I remember doing that haircut because the other girls within the group did the haircut. So I didn't want to be the odd one out. But I also remember not liking the haircut like months in. I hated the way it looked. It wouldn't curl right. I just hated it. It was just not me. It didn't suit my face. It just was not very flattering to my features at the time. I looked crazy. And that for me was a struggle. And so take that, couple that with being a young girl in high school, and you're going through your teenage years and you're dealing with all of those things. Man, that was a lot. So, as I said, this topic was very close, was very near and dear to me. I really wanted to talk about hair and identity. And while we so often use hair to identify who we are, which there's nothing wrong with it, I just simply want us to be mindful of the image that we're portraying, be mindful of, or just be aware and stand in our truth and own who we are, own how we choose to wear our hair, however that may be, right? But don't become the standard for someone else when it's not your standard. You be your own standard. You are your own individual. You create your own identity and you walk in your own truth. So with that, I want to say, be bold, and be brave to walk in your truth. All right, you guys, until next time, I'm your girl, Maxine Green. I'll catch you on the next episode.